Imagine your wife smirking, raising a glass, and dropping a line so sharp it cuts through the air. At least my ex was bigger, with a whole table watching you swallow it. The room freezes, and you don't yell or storm out. I looked her dead in the eye and said, "Your ex might have been bigger, but I'm the one you never measure up to." No jokes here, just truth locked in silence. A public low blow that changed everything. That night, I stopped being the guy who keeps the peace while losing himself. No yelling, no begging, just cold clarity. From that moment, the game changed entirely. Stick with me. This is just the beginning. Let me rewind. It was our 12-year anniversary at a steakhouse in the Dallas suburbs. Dark wood, low lights, pricey enough to blur reality. Couples everywhere pretending they were perfect, fooling no one. Couples smiled, pretended their lives were shining. Well, I just held it down, keeping the lights on in our life. Steady and steady, so our foundation wouldn't crumble even if cracks were forming. Kendra shined here because it came with an audience. She could curate our marriage in one performance. Chin up, smile sharp, hiding everything breaking behind that mask. Dylan and Marissa were there. Neighbors, co-workers, people who made every table a stage. Everyone watching, laughing, pretending. I read the fine print, but never thought dinner could break me. The night began easy. Steaks sizzling, glasses clinking, laughter worn like a mask. But beneath the ease, the air was thick with unsaid things, moments building towards a collision. Then the toast. She lifted her glass, smiled right at me, and said, "At least my ex was bigger." Just like that, like a joke, but not. The table erupted with laughter, and my stomach dropped. Dylan laughed the loudest, fueling her punchline. I realized then it wasn't humor, it was a power move, and everyone was in on it. I stayed silent, shutting the door inside me. I folded my napkin slow and deliberate, like putting something away for good. The room blinked, unsure how to handle my calm. No fight, just an edge so sharp it cut through the noise. Then I looked at Kendra and said, calmly, "Thanks for the honesty." The table froze. Forks paused. Eyes dropped. No laughter could fill the silence I made. Kendra laughed. Too light, too fast. It as a joke, she said, but the air didn't laugh. Silence slammed harder than any shout. Her mask flickered. No volume could fix this break. I tilted my head. Slow, curious. Why would I be? I said. Her smirk slipped just a bit. No rescue could erase what had been said. This wasn't a joke anymore. It was a break in us. I didn't yell, didn't slam doors. I stood up, adjusted my jacket, nodded politely to the table and walked out. Quietly, the kind of exit that makes people wonder if they laughed at the wrong moment. I wasn't angry. I was certain. I didn't come back to our bedroom. I took the guest room like a man walking out of his own life. Quiet, clean, no more saving us both from ourselves. Around midnight, 3 soft taps on the door, a sitcom-style apology, trying to erase her own bad behavior. "Come on, don't be like this," she said, half laughing, but I was past the point of acting. She didn't need love to feel powerful. She needed my reaction. My discomfort fueled her control. I felt something inside me become still done swallowing, done fading into the background. At 4:42 a.m., I rose like any workday. No speeches, no notes, just precise motion, packing a few essentials, leaving the rest like dead weight. I was done shrinking into nothing. Before leaving, I slipped a small brass key off a hidden hook in the closet. It had been there all along, hidden in plain sight. She saw it but never cared. Now, it was my ticket out. Outside, the night was cool and sharp. Porch lights glowed like silent witnesses as I slipped my truck down the street. No headlights flashing, no drama to feed, just a quiet escape from everything familiar. I drove downtown, headed towards a part of my life she never knew. The skyline rose ahead, a glass and steel fortress, hiding the life I'd prepared quietly. Just in case, the building looked unremarkable from the street. I rode the elevator up, unlocked a door hidden from her, A space ID set years ago for the day ID needed a backup life. Organized, ready, clean. Inside was a mirrored life spare closet with work shirts, lock boxes, contracts, backup drives, emotions filed like receipts. Not proud, not angry, just calm and scared of what was coming next. I made black coffee and sat down at the desk. This was the plan I hoped never to execute. Love is real, but life is expensive. Sometimes, foresight is the only shield left when betrayal feels like intimacy. Back home, Kendra woke to an empty bed. No coffee brewing, no kitchen clatter, just silence pressing heavy on the counters. Our quiet life suddenly felt rented, unfamiliar, and erased. She checked the closet. Half of my things were gone. The watch case, belt, shoes I rarely wore, but kept they add up fast when you reused to being the center of gravity. And now you not. She called my phone once, twice, third time. I let it ring, then declined. Her text tried to soften the tension, playful words failing to mask the truth. We were no longer playing the same game. I am not impulsive. I don't snap. We've been building clarity, quietly small hurts. Sharp jokes, the unspoken cuts hidden beneath smiles. Marriage felt like cleanup duty, and I was done cleaning up what I didn't create. That night wasn't the first time she tried to make me small, but first time she did it publicly and expected me to swallow it without a fight. I realized then, I didn't need to punish her. I just stopped protecting her. The next day, Kendra posted our anniversary photo, her radiant smile. Me caught blinking in the background. 12 years strong, still laughing. Her caption said, spinning a story I knew was unraveling. Likes came fast at first, then stalled. Group chats went silent. Friends canceled plans without rescheduling. The silence spread cold, contagious, and louder than words ever could be. Kendra noticed the social frost, cutting in real-time, friends blocking her, leaving her messages unread. Her confidence cracked. The charm that built her world had no power here anymore. But here's the truth, most of those friends aren't really hers or mine. They were ours, and I was the quiet glue, remembering birthdays, sending flowers, picking up awkward calls, keeping the peace. Kendra was the show, sparkling stories and staged smiles. Nothing wrong until the show turns cruel. When I stepped back, the whole network didn't explode. It just quietly unplugged, one polite silence at a time. As the silence grew, Kendra sought a neutral voice, the trustworthy mediator. Lucas Reed, calm and polished, but unshaken. He listened and saw what she couldn't hide. Kendra framed it as a joke, misunderstood, but Lucas's gaze was cold. You made him the punchline publicly. He said, no hugs, no comfort, just cold judgment standing firm. When the silence wouldn't budge, Kendra found her next lifeline. Money, but her account was gone, unable to log in. She called bank support, only to hear a voice she couldn't argue with. Evan, the senior account manager, asked the killer question. Have you had any recent change in marital status? Her funds vanished quietly. The prenuptial clause, activated by public humiliation, explained that the joint account was frozen and divided. His portion was moved to a private account. This wasn't anger or heartbreak anymore, it was math. The fallout calculated and real, with nowhere else to turn. Kendra called her father, not because he asked cruel, but because asking him meant admitting control was gone. She showed up armored, trying to spin the story her way. She told her side with softened voice. He listened calmly, swirling his drink without interrupting. When she stopped, he asked plainly, why would you humiliate a man like Rafe? Silence echoed louder than words. He laughed nervously, called it a joke, but charm couldn't cloak the truth anymore. Her father's stare was a silent reckoning, one she couldn't deflect or soften with a smile. Then he showed her a photo, a handshake outside a courthouse. That day, Rafe and he founded the Whitmore Trust. 11 years as silent partners, half the legacy entrusted to him. Not about her, about a deeper game. Realization hit hard. She hadn't married a safe man. She married the man behind the curtain, the steady force she mocked as background furniture. The truth unsettled her in ways no words could. Her phone buzzed, but no real support came through. Silence dressed as notifications. No one wanted to touch the story. The room had quietly chosen its side, and she was left out in the cold. She felt what I'd been living present but unseen, like a ghost in her own life. The woman who shrank in public was the one holding her whole world up, and no one saw the weight she carried. That afternoon, a courier delivered a thick cream-colored envelope with her full legal name. No return address. Inside, a cold legal letter activating Clause 17C, the house reassigned solely to me. Permanently taped to the letter S last page was a yellow post-it in my handwriting. Thanks for the honesty. The weight of goodbye fell heavy. I wasn't kicking her out, I was deleting her from my life. That night, Kendra Googled the prenup clause she laughed off years ago. Public reputational harm, verbal or social acts that trigger asset withdrawal. She hadn't stepped on a landmine. She signed the map. The house looked the same. Candles lit. Throw pillows in place, but it felt different, like the walls had been sold out from under her. Expensive sheets became cold hospital linen. Fear settled deep. She hadn't lost just a house. She lost belonging, the place where you feel safe. Secure, part of something greater. That night, reality stopped negotiating. The illusion shattered painfully and irrevocably. 2 days later, an email arrived, a foundation gala invitation. Clean design. Minimal words. My name, her father's name, ours stamped at the top like a mark of power. Not peace, a reminder. She RSVP'd yes. When your world shrinks, you run to the last place you still look like somebody. The night became her campaign dress, chosen for power. Smile rehearsed for control. Makeup painted armor. She walked into the ballroom like she owned the air. Heads turned briefly. Polite glances, then slid away. Conversations bent around her like she was invisible. The room had already chosen a side. At the bar, she held an overpriced drink, hands steadying the disguise. Then she saw me, centered, calm, speaking with 2 suited men who leaned in, hanging onto my every word. I didn't look bigger that night, looked certain. The kind of calm power that doesn't need to announce itself, but it commands respect. And in that moment, she understood the true punishment. She wasn't hated, she was ignored. Indifference hurts more than anger. She looked for me, hoping for the old version. But that man, the soft, smoothing husband, was gone beyond return. A woman in pale green approached me, confident and understated. She touched my arm like it belonged there. Natural and easy. A stark contrast to a fading past left behind on polished floors. Kendra stepped forward, but a board member slid right in front of her. Her kisses and small talk politely blocking her way. Courtesy wrapped in cold exclusion. A silent gate she couldn't cross. Someone glanced her way and said, "Oh, hi Kendra, no Mrs. Calloway, no warmth, just a name floating loose in cold air." Our eyes met briefly. I nodded once and turned away. The lights dimmed a little. The host stepped up with polished charm. "Tonight, we honor someone you may know as humble. But make no mistake, he is sharp." Applause rolled through the room. A soft roar of agreement. I stood, walked up, adjusted the mic once, and looked out steadily, not searching. Not nervous, just calm. I'll keep this short. I began, voice firm, ready to set the record straight. Believe in investing in what lasts: education, integrity, and sometimes silence. I said. Soft laughter rippled. Then I paused, letting the weight of silence fall heavy among the crowd. Words stick. I continued. Sometimes a joke does more damage than silence ever could. The laughter thinned. Heads shifted like compass needles. Everyone's eyes found Kendra's frozen smile. Her smile started to crack at the edges. I hadn't said her name, but I didn't need to. The room's silence was the sharpest cut. A quiet echo of the damage done in public and cold. After my speech, the gala buzzed back drinks, chatter, careful smiles, but Kendra stood still, surrounded yet alone. She carried the weight of a truth no one wanted to near. She stared, not at love or repair, but at me. Because if she could provoke me to fight, to chase, to react, she could tell herself she mattered. But this time, I wasn't the man she knew. Her heels clicked fast as she approached. Breath tight, Her mask dropped, revealing raw need and shame wrestling beneath the polish. This was the truth she couldn't hide anymore. He whispered, voice shaky under composure. You made your point. Are you done humiliating me? I didn't flinch. I was here to rewrite, not humiliate, correct the story she started. I looked past surprise and said, I wasn't humiliating you. I was correcting the story. Those words hit like cold steel. She flinched from the weight of truth she hadn't expected. She weaponized mockery, scoffing, you've changed. You really that fragile. I stepped closer, precise but not threatening. Close enough to insist on honesty, close enough to end the charade. I repeated, calm but deliberate, fragile. Then I gave her back her own words, clean and exact. At least my ex was bigger. It was a measured answer that cut deeper than anger ever could. Smirk faltered, the last mask slipping away. She expected anger, but got something colder, control. I let the silence hang between us like a closing door. The old me was gone, replaced by quiet conviction. Finally, I said it slow and steady. Your ex might have been bigger, but I am the one you never measure up to. The smirk vanished. No drama, just the stillness of truth landing hard. I gave a single nod, adjusted my cufflink, and walked away, leaving her with nothing left to perform. That night, I learned respect isn't a joke. It's the foundation upon which all else falls or stands. A joke only works when both people laugh. One swallows the punchline. It's not humor, it's erosion. It chips away at security, money, stability, belonging, partnership, and status irreparably. Public disrespect shatters things fast. Security collapses. Money and stability vanish. How others see you, how you see yourself distorts when the foundation erodes in front of witnesses. I didn't leave to win. I left to stop shrinking. Sometimes the loudest revenge isn't noise, but a quiet life no longer shared a clean. Final choice to choose yourself over the erosion. If you've ever been the steady one treated like a punchline, know this: the right move isn't exploding. It's choosing yourself clean, final, and unfaltering, because sometimes the silent strength wins. Why do some jokes stay with us longer than words? Why does one laugh tear down what years of silence built? Think about that, how humor can hide harm beneath its shadow. Silence can be louder than anger. When we don't speak, when we don't fight back, pain layers over itself, building invisible walls we hope no one sees but everyone feels. Walking away isn't weakness, it's clarity. It's knowing when to step from the storm before you drown. Protecting yourself without needing others to understand the quiet strength it takes. Behind every public joke lies a private reckoning. The laughter you hear is masking cracks in the foundation, cracks deep enough to bring down everything without anyone noticing, until it's too late. Are you holding on to peace or losing yourself in the process? Sometimes the choice is painful, but growth starts where silence ends and self-respect begins. Silent decisions hold power. They might not announce themselves with fireworks, but they reset everything. They read the quiet revolutions in lives too complex for loud declarations. Control doesn't shout. It whispers and moves unseen. It's the calm in storms, the steady hand that guides without needing applause or recognition. Unseen but unshaken. In moments that break us, what do you truly hold onto? Memories, pride, or the quiet knowledge that the next step, though unknown, is yours alone to take with courage? Sometimes, love isn't enough to hold two worlds together. It's heartbreaking, but truth demands we see beyond feelings, beyond rituals and smiles, the roots that sustain or erode us. Respect is the foundation love builds upon. Without it, even the strongest love crumbles. And when respect breaks, everything else starts to fracture and fall, often without any warning signs. Erosion starts with small cracks, a joke, a look, a silence, but left ignored. Those cracks grow until the whole structure collapses, leaving nothing but memories and questions behind. It takes quiet strength to stop shrinking, to choose yourself when everything around you asks for more surrender. That moment is fragile, but it's the beginning of real freedom. Don't let others write your story or dictate your value. The harshest truths often come cloaked in laughter, but your truth is yours to claim unapologetically and firmly. When the act is public, damage echoes louder. The world watches, and respect is questioned not just by others but by ourselves. What happens inside us is where real healing starts. Prepare your silent exits long before storms hit. Quiet foresight is a grown man's responsibility. A shield against chaos. When the world's performance cracks, you left holding the lines. Calm choices carve paths through chaos. They loud in their precision and quiet in their form. Sometimes the strongest statement is made without words, without spectacle. Who holds your legacy matters, silent partners behind the scenes. The ones you trust beyond the spotlight. They shape futures in moments unseen, far from applause and noise. Sometimes silence speaks louder than confrontation. It holds an entire world beneath its breath, the resolve, the calm, the finality that reshapes lives quietly but profoundly. Not all battles are loud. The fiercest wars rage inside the quiet spaces, in choices we make alone. In the moments we stop defending what's lost and start building what's next. Reclaim your story. Do it quietly if you must. Strength isn't always loud, but it's always there, in the decisions you make that honor yourself first, in the peace you build afterward. Choosing yourself isn't about reacting. It's about acting with intention, arriving at peace with what's been broken, and moving forward without needing approval or retaliation. The clearest boundaries don't need shouting to be understood. Silence can draw lines sharper than words, separating what nourishes from what corrodes, marking the path to freedom. Being the steady one is often lonely, unseen by those around you. But that strength silent, steadfast is the foundation others lean on, even if they never say thank you. Remember, your value isn't defined by the version others project onto you. It's forged in your own eyes, anchored in actions, not in noisy opinion or public scripts forced upon you. You don't owe your peace to anyone who erodes it. Protect it fiercely, shield it quietly, and when it's broken, know when to walk away to keep what remains whole yourself. Withdrawal isn't weakness. It's power, the strength to say when enough is enough, to take control of your narrative, and to build anew from the quiet aftermath. The hardest fades often go unnoticed. They require shifts in energy, subtle breaks in connection, a stoic turning away rather than a loud confrontation or spectacle. Every silence carries meaning. It's the space where truths settle, where choices are made and understood without words. Sometimes what's unspoken speaks loudest of all. Prepare not just for the battles, but for the silent moments that follow. Those unspoken pauses shape futures more than arguments ever can when pain goes unseen, yet deeply felt. Strength isn't always a roar. Often, it's the quiet breath between storms, the steady pulse beneath chaos, the calm resolve in a world yelling for reaction and noise. Choosing yourself clean and final is the hardest move and the most necessary. It's the clear-eyed decision to rise above erosion. Reclaim your space and live with unshakable peace. Think about respect in your own life. How easily is it given? How fiercely do you defend it? When it's broken in public, what does that do to your sense of security and self? Remember, silence can be a fortress, not a prison. Using it wisely empowers you to reset the narrative, build strength unseen, and choose battles that truly matter. Now ask yourself, are you shrinking to avoid conflict, or standing firm to protect your worth? The answer shapes not just relationships, but how you walk through the world. Power doesn't belong to the loudest, but to those who set clear boundaries. Boundaries protect the fragile core of self, keeping respect intact when everything else feels uncertain. Ending doesn't mean failure, it means evolution. Sometimes walking away is growing up. It cracks open space for something new, something truer. Don't fear the quiet exits, often beginnings. Own your story. The struggles, the silences, the choices all weave the strength you need for what comes next. Don't let others define you with their narratives. You are the author of your own life. In a world full of performances and facades, stay close to your truth. It may feel lonely, but it's the only foundation strong enough to carry you through storms and silent shatters. Every choice, every moment of courage or silence, shapes the path you walk. Sometimes the hardest roads lead to the clearest skies. Your next steps, they waiting for your command. Will you sacrifice your peace for silence, or protect yourself fiercely enough to walk away when needed? The choice isn't easy. but it's yours unequivocally, unashamedly yours, leaving isn't weakness, it's strength. The power to end erosion, to reclaim your dignity, to hold your head high, even when the silence that follows is deafening. Respect isn't a punchline. It's the thread holding relationships and lives together. When it unravels in public, the fallout is swift, relentless, and often silent but devastating. Silence can be choice, not surrender. The courage to hold your ground without words, to save strength for battles worth fighting, and to stand firm even when unseen. Worlds fall away. When audiences disappear, you are your own anchors, rooted in truth, poised in strength, holding fast to the self no storm can shatter or redefine. Sometimes the loudest revenge is a quiet life removed from chaos. The power to live peacefully, unshared, unyielding, a final act of respect for yourself and your future. What is your silent strength? The composure when everyone expects noise. The power in walking away without a word. It's waiting inside you, a force quietly building, ready to set you free. Healing begins within. It's the quiet, brave choice to stop defending what harms you and start nurturing what heals you. It's a process, slow but unstoppable when embraced fully. Your worth isn't measured by applause or acceptance. It's rooted in the honesty you hold with yourself, the boundaries you keep, and the truth you never betray no matter who watches. When the noise settles, peace is your true victory, the calm in the aftermath, the quiet proof that strength isn't always loud, and that survival is not enough. We must thrive. Trust your silent instincts, they know more than you realize. In the quiet moments, that inner voice guides you away from erosion and toward clarity, strength, and lasting change. Choosing yourself isn't selfish, it's courageous. It means facing hard truths, letting go of facades, and stepping into the unknown with grace. It's the ultimate act of self-respect. Endings hurt because they mean something mattered, but every ending holds roots of new beginnings, growth, waiting patiently to bloom from the quiet wreckage of what once was. What will you redefine in your life? Your boundaries, your value, your story. The power to change is within reach. Sometimes it starts with saying no more and living that truth fiercely. Growth demands letting go of fear, of old narratives, of people who undermine your peace. It's painful yet freeing, the necessary path to becoming who you were meant to be. Strength often starts as a quiet revolution within a shift not announced, but deeply felt. It's the refusal to be diminished, the reclaiming of your space and your voice internally. Peace isn't passive, it's your greatest power. Guard it fiercely, build it thoughtfully. It's the silent force that holds you steady when the world tries to pull you apart. Respect is non-negotiable, not something to be earned, bartered, or joked about. It's the backbone of dignity that holds all relationships upright. Been in silence or storm, walking away is not giving up, it's reclaiming control. It's the brave step that says enough. Boundary set, peace prioritized. Sometimes absence speaks louder than presence ever could. Are you ready to choose yourself? To live fierce, unbowed, unapologetic? This journey isn't easy, but it's the only way to true freedom and peace that lasts beyond the noise. Endings rewrite beginnings. What looks like loss is sometimes the space for something greater. Remember, every end holds a seed waiting for your courage to bring it to life. Your story doesn't belong to those who try to define you. It's yours alone, shaped by your choices, your strength, and your truth. Own it fiercely and live it fully, regardless of the past. Strength isn't given, it's grown within. In every silent stand, every no spoken softly, in every step away from harm, grow sturdier roots that no storm can uproot. Choose peace over noise. Let go of battles that leave you drained and embrace the quiet victories that restore your soul and honor your worth. It's the path few see, but many need. The right move isn't rage or reaction. It's choosing yourself clean, final, unyielding. It's the decision that demands respect from the world, even if only you witness it at first. Will you stand steady when the world tries to shrink you? Will you claim your peace and respect, even when it means walking alone? This is your moment, your strength unleashed quietly and fiercely. Now, ask yourself, what is your next step? Will you stay silent and fade, or rise with quiet power? choosing yourself above all else. The story isn't tea over it has only just begun.